Okay, with Christopher Vallone, Hellbound Fugitive, it is the short film, play at the Action Sci-Fi Film Festival. Really interesting film, 5 minutes long. You're in your car right now. Where are you right now? In Florida?
I am. Yeah, I moved. I used to live in New York, and I was a filmmaker up there. Geez, 20 years ago, and moved down to Florida about a year and a half ago, and it's been really nice. I tried to get back to my studio. I was getting in the middle of getting a haircut. I thought it was going to take a lot shorter time, but I looked up at my phone. I'm like, oh man, it's 10:30, so I'm here.
You like the weather? You're not because it's snowy up here, up in the northeast.
It,
Yeah.
I love it, man. I guess with the Italian background that I have, the Sicilian blood, yeah, I really like it. I mean, the weather down here is perfect right now, so I can't complain.
Well, I'm Northern Italian, so maybe I like the cold. So who knows?
Oh, okay.
All right. So Hellbound Fugitive. This is it's a great 5 minute film, but this is you were saying in the blog interview. This is there's a bigger film in here. It's like a almost like a proof of concept.
Yeah. So basically, about 18 years ago, 18, 20 years ago, I wrote a feature length script. And I used to write scripts. I did my own films back in the day when I was shooting on mini DV tape, man. That's when I was doing independent films. For about a good 9, 10 years, I did my own stuff. Wrote, directed, shot, produced. And in there, I also wrote some scripts. Late 20s came around, and I'm like, I got to start making some money here. I can't keep bumming off my folks and working odd end jobs. So I started my own business, and for 20 years, I'm still running that business. Now AI technologies come into play,
Yeah.
and I'm able to resurrect some of those old stories. So this feature I wrote called Seven to Hell. I started making the trailer for it with the technology today. And of course, when you're getting back into filmmaking, Google searches start coming up, YouTube videos start coming up, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to hear about contests and festivals. I'm like, all right, I heard about a couple of horror and thriller contests. Let me see. I'll take a piece of the trailer that I've been making for the feature and make a short. So
Okay.
I grabbed a lot of the scenes from the trailer and made them into the short. So, and that's it. That was what it was. Yeah.
Well, you did it. And it's like for
Yeah.
people that stand alone, so people have no context of that, and they're just watching a 5 minute short film with that has a
Right.
beginning, middle, and end, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I know some people were like, what is he running from? I mean, and I totally get that. It was part of maybe the film was a little rushed when I made it because I had a deadline to make to hit one of these contests.
Yeah.
Um, and it was my first real for, going back into film or, any sort of narrative storytelling, but using the new technology. So I still feel I'm a noob with it. Um, so there's in the feature, there's not just one comic, there's seven.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Now that I have the trailer made and the script, now people are like, oh no, yeah, pitch material. So
You
I
do.
don't know. you know.
You do. So let's talk about how the film was made. So this is kind of AI technology.
Yeah. So I use these couple of these art apps that are out there. If you call them apps, you go to their websites, like something like Midjourney. There's another. I use one in particular called Leonardo.
Okay.
And Leonardo's really, it's pretty good, man. I mean, it's not perfect. A lot of this stuff is not perfect. A lot of this stuff, you can give it a very basic prompt and it's
Yeah.
just not doing what you want it to do, you know? So I use Leonardo to generate the images. And then there's image to video programs like Runway is very popular. I use one called Minimax and Kling. Those are those two, but there's still traditional editing involved. There's
Yeah.
still traditional storytelling here. I didn't use ChatGPT to write my script, and there's still sound editing that I'm doing. So I'm still doing a lot of traditional stuff,
Of course. Yeah.
uh, and the characters that I made, those were sketches I had from 18, 20 years ago. So those are my guys. And I just tell the prompt or I send in a sketch to the AI to learn it. And that's the crazy thing that the AI can learn your idea or what you're trying to create, a consistent character. And so that's what it did for me.
So the guy is not a guy. He's a creation. The lead
Yes.
character.
Yeah, yeah. I totally, I mean, I described to the prompt the type of character I wanted, how I wanted him to look, his characteristics, and all of his, like his facial expressions, when he was in terror or when he's out of breath.
Yeah.
That's all still my directing. So you're still playing a director, but you're directing a bot, right?
Yeah.
You're directing that imaginary character there to give you those features. So that's really so it's still all there. I know a lot of people can poo-poo AI because they feel like you just throw in a word, "Hey, do this for me," and it does it. It's far from that. It's
No, no,
getting there. I
no.
know there's
That's what
there's a lot of things.
I've had this conversation many a times, and we're a festival that we're gonna champion these films because it's not going away, and there's still creativity involved. Like you just don't spend an afternoon making this film. Like there's like you
No,
said, sound design, creation of the characters. Like there's still creative work. It's like
yep,
when the invention of the camera was invented over 100 years ago, people said,
yeah.
"Oh, you just click a camera and basically take a picture and everybody can do it." No, no, there's still creativity involved, right? So,
Th- There is, yeah, and then look, and it's the same deal when Photoshop came into play. How many,
yeah.
a couple of decades ago, where I was like, "Oh, that's not real art." It's very similar. These tools have become accessible. Look, 18, 20 years ago, I would have never been able to make this short without an animator or VFX artist or to get cop
Well, you
cars and
could, but it just would cost you a lot of money. Yeah.
a lot of money. That's it. I didn't have that kind of budget. So yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit right now. So it's pretty cool.
So the guy looks like Dave Batista, like
Yeah.
the wrestler actor, So if he watches the film, it's like this film's made for me, the feature film, because it looks like him. I don't know if that was of inspiration for you or
It wasn't. It
okay.
actually wasn't. It just kept making that. I mean, it made him. All I wanted was a gruff and a muscular figured guy with the beard
Yeah.
and the little bit of the goatee, the shaved head. That's what I prompted.
Okay.
It kept bringing up his face for some reason.
So you're aware of
And
you're aware that it looks like him then.
yes, no, people have mentioned that. I know for sure. Yeah, but if you go to back to any of my prompts, I don't put his name in there.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, he can give it to his people, and then this is a perfect feature film for him, right? So
No doubt. Yeah. So, and then, if you ever wanted to make a trailer for something that you wrote and you have say, an actor in mind,
yeah.
I don't know what the legalities are there with that.
But this
But
is the
like,
perfect fine. Yeah, this is the fine line where it looks like him, but it's not him, right?
it's not right. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's really astonishing. The technology is moving incredibly fast. I mean, every week I try to keep up with these gurus that I follow on YouTube about what's next. It seems like almost every day, every week, there's a new update with these platforms, and it's truly remarkable just to see, what's coming down the. I mean, we're in the beginning of 2025. At the end of this year, it's just going to be really mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Yeah, because the film looks like at the beginning, it's like with the cops, it's like, oh, look at this big budget film, and then like it's a great opening. It's almost like we're on some stage set, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then it's like yeah, and then we get into the story, right? Where it's like it's like you said, it's not overly complicated in terms of its plot, meaning that, but we're emotionally engaged with this character. That's the art form of for me for AI. We're like you have to care. You have to be emotionally involved in the
Yeah.
film to order for it to work. So that's art right there, meaning that people are
Yeah.
making films, but they're just like they're eye candy, right? There's nothing there, right? There's no emotion there.
Well, I see that a lot today, especially with the AI shorts. That a lot of them that I do watch,
Yeah,
that that they look
yeah,
spectacular, but then at the end of them, I'm like, all right, where are we going? What did I see here? I don't know. I don't feel fulfilled here, and they look great. You give me something that looks like Blair Witch and it has a great story to it, I'm there.
yeah,
Like I don't mind how dirty and muddy it looks, or the discrepancies that AI does have sometimes with fingers, or there's some distortion. I know a lot of guys will harp on things like that, but then at the end of it, I'm willing to accept that because look, we're at such an amazing point right now in history with the quality of these videos that what you can put out today we couldn't do 5 years ago or later. But give me an engaging story. I think we need to go back to some really good stories again. I want to walk out of the theater again saying, "Man, that was a great film."
yeah.
Like that's what I miss that. You know.
So you had a deadline, like you said, you had a deadline, and then that's how deadlines are good in a lot of ways because you get the film done. And then you're just
Yep.
sending it out to festivals, trying to get reactions.
That's it. Yeah, I've been doing that, and it was again just getting back into this after 18 years of not making narratives, and yeah, getting back into the whole festival scene. It's very streamlined today. My gosh, it's amazing. I remember having to put VHS tapes in the mail
Yeah,
with a press kit,
yeah.
to submit to festivals. So now with something like Film Freeway, I mean, it's just, gosh, it's all there. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's another technology because it's less than 10 years old. And like from my experience, still 10 years ago, people were still sending DVDs out to festivals. So
Yeah. Yes.
so
Yeah.
okay, so you're like, so what were you doing in the 18 years? And then what kind of propelled you kind of creatively or emotionally to get back into it? Because there's a fear factor, right? Once when you go away from something for a long time, jumping back into
Yeah.
something is kind of a scary feeling.
No doubt about it. So when I went to school for art. I got a BA in fine arts, and my hobby in the background while I was an artist and filmmaker is I love the vintage Volkswagen Beetle,
Okay.
and I always wanted to be the artist with a bug. So I had that as a hobby in the background. And then after I hit my late 20s, when I did a bunch of films, I was like, all right, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to start my own business. So I started my own VW restoration business. So I've been doing that for 20 years of building and restoring Volkswagen Beetles for people. But at the same time, still filming because I have a YouTube channel for 18 years producing content for that business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So still editing, still filming, still have, my run with different cameras and stuff that I get every so often. And, but then, once I saw the AI technology coming into play, I'm like, wow, let me try it. Let me just dip back into it. I'd like to get into it anyway for my business to make content for the VW channel. Let me see, narratively, let me get back into something. And that's basically what I did. Just did some homework and started stabbing at it. And I'm like, all right, it's pretty cool.
Was doing the homework overwhelming? Like kind of like because it's all
Yes,
brand new. Was it an overwhelming kind of like arc of like learning to get where
no
you're
doubt about
at?
it. Because when you do a first Google, YouTube search for a topic on AI, the next time you log into YouTube, your homepage is just littered with how many videos doing this, consistent characters, and how to generate this, how to generate that. Use this new app. Oh, this new one just came out, and you're like, all right. Yeah, some of my age, I'm gonna be 48 next month. Some of my age, I'm like, all right, I'm good with tech, but it's overwhelming sometimes how much content you get
Yeah.
thrown at you. So just take a step back, take a breather, and a lot of those videos are just a lot of it's fluff, hot air. So you just try to pick your battles, so to speak, and that was it. So kind of streamlining it away.
Because like we're not going to give our ages away, but we're both Generation X, and
Yeah,
so we didn't grow up with this. We remember black and white TVs. We remember no computers at our homes, right? Like so
yeah,
so we didn't. So this is kind of this is an arc that we learned when we were in our teenage years. So then so it's not like secondhand for us, right? So I'm just giving you credit for like kind of jumping into this minefield
yeah.
of the new technology. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's not easy to do.
No, it definitely was very overwhelming in the beginning, and I stumbled, and it was like, God, there's something wrong here. I wish I took one of these courses I took. I paid a few bucks for it, and I sat in this course for like a month.
Yeah.
And every time this guy would show you how to make a short or how to make something, I mean, he'd always have like 10 to 12 different windows opened or tabs open in his, browser bar because he's using an app for the voices, an app for the, sound effects, an app for this video generator, the picture, and I'm saying, I wish there was something all under one roof. I
Yeah.
don't like clutter. I don't like to see things scattered. I don't like this scatterbrain kind of, workflow here. What can I do to streamline this? So there are now sites coming out that are out now that things are all kind of under one roof. And LTX Studios is one of them. And you can punch your script in and boom, it gives you a shot list, storyboarding. It'll add music, it'll add sound. You can add video. You rendering the images, and then it can bang out for you the trailer. Then you have the pitch. You have all the headshots of all the actors and actresses. The total very professional setup. It's not perfect. Video generation is not great. So I
Yeah.
have to go to resort to other video generators, but I like that it does trim away a lot of the fat and you can kind of streamline and kind of keep it all under one roof. So I think it's eventually all going to get there.
Yeah.
because a lot of sites are coming up. People are listening to that and they know it's just getting a little too confusing, a little too much to have so many different subscriptions to so many different sites, you know?
One-stop shops, right? So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
mentioned
it's
Film
definitely better.
Freeway. That's what Film Freeway does, right? It's a one-stop shop. So
That's excellent. And that's the way to do it, I think.
yeah, that's interesting. So, but it also too, like it seems like you're learning and it helps your business as well with the videos that you do with your business.
Yes, no doubt about it. It's all a nice synergistic workflow
Yeah.
right now, and so I'm doing both. I'm doing the videos for my VW channel, and then on the side, I'm doing the narratives.
What's your VW channel?
Classic VW bugs.
And you've been doing like the YouTube stuff for a long time?
Oh man, 18, 20 years. Yeah,
That's awesome. So
yeah,
since the beginning of YouTube, in a sense.
yeah. Very early on, I got in on that. I figured let me capitalize on it because I was probably one of the only guys, if the only guy out there, putting out how-to information on how to restore your bug.
Yeah,
And I got, man, did I get chastised for doing that? A lot of the old timers were coming down on me saying, why are you giving away this free information, giving away this information
you're
for
ahead of the
free?
time. Yeah,
Yeah. I said, well, it's all going to come back to me. And sure enough, it did, you know?
yeah. It's funny because I'm reading the right now. I'm reading the history of YouTube, like the origin story of the YouTube, the book. It's great. It's a great book, and it just came out like a few months ago. And they're talking about that, right? Where like people like yourself, like kind of the
Yep.
innovators who are doing things that nobody was doing yet. So, and you gotta, and then like yeah, there's all obviously other nuance to the history of it, but yeah, that's amazing that you're doing that.
It built my business tremendously. I mean, we
Yeah,
got to a point where we're 2 year wait list to build bugs for people. So I deal with people around the world. And, you know, when they would see a montage video that I would make, so I'd grab a lot of my filmmaker background to make my videos. So if I did an engine build video, I might not make one where I'm explaining. I might put it to music and
yeah,
effects and good editing. And some of these guys would be like, well, why would you make a video like that? I was like, you know what? Because the customer saw that video and thought it was epic. And they're like, I
context.
want my engine to be like that. So
Context is king, and you're not advertising. You're making the advertising yourself, right?
that's
You're not
right.
paying for
Yeah.
the advertising. That's amazing.
Yeah. It was the way to do it, man. I was pumping videos out every week for that. Yep.
So, but and ideally, to get back to your film, ideally you would want, like in an ideal world, you would want to make this into a feature film. Your script.
Yeah, I have the script written and I have the trailer made. And yeah, that's the next step, really. I mean, I don't know.
But
So if you go,
yeah, there's different
if you,
avenues to take with this because one, you can do it yourself, I guess, right?
yeah, that's the crazy thing, you know. So I have a couple of the narrative, like the trailers on my VW YouTube channel. I haven't made a separate YouTube channel yet because I
Okay.
still feel like I'm early here, but I probably have to make a YouTube channel based now on my new, you know, filmmaking stuff. But yeah, if you go to my filmmaker, my VW channel, Classic VW Bugs, you'll see the trailer there for Seven to Hell. And that's the trailer for the feature to this. And you'll see scenes in that trailer from the short from Hellbound. Yeah.
Yeah, you got 165,000 followers on YouTube. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing good. I just subscribed. So basically, there we go.
Oh, very good.
And yeah, you create your filmmaking channel, and then you can kind of like you can work these 165 to your other channel, and then start bridging up, and then the search engines go up, and you know what I'm talking about. Basically,
Yeah,
but
no, totally.
create a filmmaking YouTube channel, and then you can kind of take this success and kind of it will be easier to build up, right? So
Yeah, for sure. And that's that would be like the portfolio, you know, channel in a
yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah, and you're in the videos. I see a couple of them. You're in the videos, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I have no problem being in front of the camera. I present a lot. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you could tell even in the way you talked at the beginning. That's amazing. So you love cars and you love filmmaking.
Only one car.
Oh, only one
The
car.
Volkswagen Beetle. That's it. I don't know any other car. You give me a Honda, you give me a Mazda. I don't know what I'm fixing. I didn't go to school for that. I went to, you know, I was an artist. So I failed. The bug is such an artist mobile, man. When I was a filmmaker and going to school, I had my gear in a Beetle and showing up to my film sets and stuff and guerrilla filmmaking and jumping out of the Beetle and doing our scenes and then getting out. It was just a great memory to have. I just feel like, you know, an artist got to have a bug. That's just
Yeah.
me. And I just, yeah, I know color combinations and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and your reviews, I'm just plugging you even more. Your reviews on Google reviews are amazing. Yeah, you got you're on like you're heavy duty, man. That's awesome.
I'm trying, man. I feel like I
I
just try
know.
to be thankful for what I got. I wake up and, I got good friends, good family, good food, and that's what it's about.
No, I run obviously I run a small business too, so I know where you're at. So basically,
Oh, okay.
I know the grind, right? It's a grind.
Yeah, man.
The
Yeah,
grind
it
is
is.
good though,
Yeah,
and it's always on your mind.
for sure. You don't. I listen, and that's one thing I'll bring up right now. It's always on your mind. Meaning, since I got back into filming and editing and things like that, man, do I have a tough time sleeping right now?
Yeah,
Because I'll edit like I used to when I was younger, all hours of the night. My wife's like, "It's midnight. What are you doing?" And I'm like, "All right, just one more. I just got to do this. Fix this one thing." I put my head down on that pillow. I can't go to sleep because the edits are in my head, the
yeah,
music's in my head, and I'm like, man, I'm not that young guy anymore.
yeah.
So yeah,
No, I get it. I totally get it. I get it. Well, boy, do I get that. All right,
yeah.
man. Congratulations on the film. I know you got a birthday coming up. So
Oh
happy
my god,
birthday.
thank
Like you
you.
alluded to. I'm just seeing on the Film Freeway page. And so happy birthday. And it's amazing what you're doing. And I'll plug your Volkswagen channel. And I think this is a great film. I think that you're ahead of the time with this as well.
I appreciate
And like
that.
I said, it's not easy. People think it's easy, but it's very, very difficult to make your film. It's not like you said, like the learning curve of the AI, the technology, but
Yeah,
also showing emotion in the story, right? Like this guy's getting chased by all these cop cars. We've seen this before in films. We've seen this a lot, right?
yeah,
But we still need to care, and
yeah.
there's still originality in your story too with the characters at the end. I think he just froze. He just froze, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll wrap this up, and hopefully he gets back to me, and let's talk again soon.